In 2026, velocity isn't a feature, it's survival. Markets move faster than roadmaps, customers change faster than quarterly plans, and AI has compressed decision cycles from weeks to hours. In this environment, agile tools can make work visible, but they can't make leadership courageous, aligned, and outcome driven. Many organizations have dashboards, ceremonies, and scaled frameworks, yet ship slow, frustrate teams, and miss the business outcomes. The difference is leadership is clarity in intent, permission to decide, accountability for value, and the discipline to remove friction. Today, we are joined by Anuradha Udgal, strategy led agile transformation leader and independent director Lens, bringing boardroom to backlog view of what agile leadership means when growth, risk, and execution must move together. Before we dive into the topic, let's have a small video about Power of Knowing Forum. Well, let's welcome Anuradha to our podcast series and dive into the topic. Hi Anuradha, welcome to
Hello,
our
how are
podcast.
you?
How are you today?
Thank you. Thank you so much. How about you all?
Good, Anuradha. Anuradha, small intro about yourself, your journey so far, Anuradha.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Prem, for giving me such a wonderful platform in front of the great audience. So, my introduction is like I am typical technical person with the business strategy kind of person with a digital transformation experience where I'm helping to the organization to add a value, increase the ROI with the smart strategy implementation across the globe. I have been working into the all the IT infrastructure project or business process projects where I'm helping to the customer for the smartest solution. So this is what I have done in professionally. Moreover, I am into the leadership management team, uh, provide the best solutions to the all the stakeholders. Moreover, I have been involved into the providing a solution into digital transformation in today's world of AI era. Thank you.
Thank you, Anu, for that. Let's start at the root. Say in 2026, what does agile leadership mean that tools can never replace?
It's a very good questions nowadays, which like machines cannot replace the human in the same manage and tools cannot replace the leadership thought process. Agile is a framework which is giving the some ideas how smartest solution we can provide into the organization. Leadership itself is experience which we take on the playground where we experience a lot of challenges, multiple problems which is not getting by in one frame or two frame can be changed by era, but the leadership which is in human inbuilt that comes with an experience. So agile is trained words nowadays. I support that framework, but still it requires a lot of understanding among the employees, customer, people and business.
Okay. Now, what leadership behavior separates high performance agile organizations from agile in name organizations, Anuradha?
A lot of time I have been worked with a lot of people, as what my roles is all about, a mediator between deep technical team and the senior leadership. What I see whenever any kind of new uh, framework comes into the picture, people don't love to take as a positive, because the that allows to make change the work process different manner. So what wherever the new way of working comes, so people love to take time to understand. They feel it should not be a burden, whether it's agile framework, or because previously they were all following what are traditional, it's too lengthy, people were lazy on that, they were easily implementation. But once the agile comes, it's sprints level work have been done, ceremonies, we are rechecking the work again and again, which people are not actually used to of it. Accountabilities, a lot of accountabilities when we are deploying any solution in agile. And the beautiful thing of it is, it's a risk management. We as an organization focus a lot, we as a senior leadership focus more risk we are seeing rather than previously we used to have. So people don't want to go for complicated terminologies which easily not understand by the people. So in the world of waterfall, there were very easy label terminologies which is easily understandable to the customers as well, and the team itself. But now the same thing is happening, but terminology is little bit hard to be expressed it what exactly it is. Very hard words are there, sprains, ceremonies, and impairments. uh, uh, we can talk about risk management. There was a, while we were deploying in waterfall, it was very easy to mention. Now there is some different level of higher level of words are there. So people are ready to work, they are somewhere lacking for the terminologies, so they are having a fear on it, and it's put some little bit more smart efforts to understand what exactly the process or the word is saying while we are implementing such agile solutions.
So what you are saying is waterfall method compared to agile, it's a different terminology that we are using. That's the point that you are taking. The second point that I understand is there are so many pointers that you should look at when you talk about sprints, backlogs, uh, then score of the backlog, then you have many pointers which keep points to be added to each of the task also is a challenge. Stories have been created, but when you look at the larger storyboard, these tasks are still open, and you look at the epic that is there, there is a challenge. So there are a lot of things that you see is what makes a difference when you see high performance and the agile in name, because in name is more to look at organizations which are still under the method, and agile is to look at a standard process is what you're saying, and that process is going to be in kind of an epic to story to task and the backlogs, then point adding points. So that's how you think, that is the pointer that you are saying. Now, what is most common leadership mistake you see when teams go agile?
Generally, when a leaders working into the agile, they must be aware whatever we are implementing, are they understanding, your team is understanding or not, or we are just putting the pressure to do that work in that manner only. So a lot of skills is really required while come to the agile. As we have already discussed that there's a product backlogs, impairments, pi planning, different level of the ceremonies are there. And we can see into the waterfall, there was just a one program manager or a portfolio manager or a project manager. But here is a here we have a lot of, there is a small team, but we have different type of people are there, product owners, scrum masters, and they are a number of the roles and responsibility they are having. So we cannot force to the being a leader the new things without awareing them. So it's our responsibility to make them sure whomsoever is taking care of this scenario, he must be aware of each part of agile. It's simple word, but somewhere it is have to be little bit smart while deploying the solutions. And most of the experience which I have been seeing, a lot of people think agile is just for software development, but unfortunately that's not a right truth. While I was traveling to the by the airport in Indigo, then I thought I saw the people. People was helping to the organization. All the employees were having a agile tag on their shirt, which explains that agile is just not a way to implementation or software dashboard or something, but still somewhere agile solution is implementing into the another level of process as well, which is making your cost reduction, which is making your time reduction and providing the best solutions.
Okay. So what you're saying is common mistake that we see is we don't look at only one industry where you see agile is for software only, right? And what we are also understanding is agile can be done on any industry. It is not necessary that you should do only with software development. I agree because I have an example where I was working as a delivery head, and we had this sprint planning and stuff there. So we never had, as you rightly said, we always used to think storyboards or sprint, all these are only for software development. But what we understood is, while I'm an infrastructure person, I can also put that work into a agile framework where I say next three sprints or two sprints we will have maybe writing all the Docker files for bringing up the infrastructure, Ansible scripts, right? And we put tasks saying that DB work will be done by the DB team, the network team will configure some of the firewall rules, then the teams will configure this, and we will test with all these coming into one Docker file, and then we try to build the infrastructure and see whether it builds automatically or it fails. So in that way we are also looking at failing and also looking at getting the infrastructure up in a manner that is agile. In way, say first we bring up the DB, maybe one server is brought up with the DB and DB is connecting to all the applications. That could be one test. Maybe after that you can also look at bringing everything into under one Docker file where you say first the DB comes, then the application comes, they are all under one file, and you run one file. It brings up the server, it configures the storage, it configures the RAM, it configures the CPU required, the size required, the region which we want to deploy. Everything is captured, and when you run the screen, the Docker file, you get to bring up an environment which is ready to use with the DB, everything coming. So I completely agree with what you are saying, where you say uh, go agile means you will have to bring everything which can be brought not only for software development, you can bring it to infrastructure also. So that is one thing. That so what we are doing is we are trying to define the leadership in intent, so we make the decision in speed and accountability for outcomes. That's what we are saying when we look at having the infrastructure also part of it. Now there are other aspects that can be brought in as well, right? So an application build is again a software development, but how is the testing going to be? If this Docker code is checked in, you do the manual testing, you automate the testing also. That also can be one. What we see is ceremonies without empowerment is what we have to look at. Now coming to uh, the next point, what do tools and frameworks often, or why do tools and frameworks often become comfort theater instead of performance enablers?
What I have been experienced when we are implementing the frameworks, we are easily able to blame that this is because of that. This framework says the XYZ of rules. So if something happen, this happen, which is not coming on your head, so this is the easiest way to standards compliance or governance available into the name of agile are available. We can easily say that whenever the audits come. So this is what I feel. framework somewhat is good to monitor the performance, what is happening. It's good to have a review, but back of that, we should be aware as a human intelligence that we should use the framework, but 100% should not be rely on that. We must use our intelligence, how smart we can do, what infrastructure we are having, what we are deploying, how much it is suitable with our organization, and how much percentage we are improving with this. Just 100% we should not be rely on the agile, because what I have an experience while we hire to the scrum master or practicing with the scrum master, they think only the one point of view of implementation of any solutions. But when you are a leader, you have to have a 360 views about everything. You have to manage stakeholders, you have to manage risk, you have to manage your all the vendors. You have to be more think what the ROI I'm going to be increased. Nowadays we are not just a technical IT leaders, we are moreover into business oriented. So we have to be keep in mind that whatever the solution or services we are providing with the framework, are we able to achieve the target which is demand into the market, as it is a very fast changing market we are having.
So what you are saying is frameworks are important. One is that, but if we are not having the right tool set and the frameworks together and the leadership around it, we will fail, is what you are saying. And most of the pointers that you are looking at is you can have the best this one, but instead of having performance of these tools and frameworks, if you are lagging without proper decision making, then I think that is the challenge. Is what shines show a team is optimizing Jira or safe mechanics but not customer value. Because when you do a deployment, agile predominantly looks at customer value, right? So what is that we are able to give it in that sprint, right? What is that we are going to look at? So your take on it, Anurag.
So on that, I will say that customer needs solutions. They are with us for the solutions. How do we implement it is our internal decision. We can make them sure what we are doing, but they want a solutions at the faster pace which they are paying for us. So we have to be more focused on the advanced tools which is available into the market, whether it's Jira or Safe or whatever we are using in advanced level. But we must be make sure whatever we are delivering, it is with the quality, so that the it's not going to hamper our goodwill for the customers or quality of the deliverables.
What we are saying is uh, we need to look at deliverables. The implementation can be reviewed, discussed, and then we tell the customer this is how we implement, and we are going to give you a solution with this implementation, is what I think you are getting there. What should leaders measure instead of activity metrics? Because agile is completely task metrics and stuff like that. So what is that you measure? Your take on it, on that.
Uh, Moreover, as a leader, I must focus on both sides, my customer and my team deliverables. Moreover, the deliver how the deliverables has been delivered, that really matters for me, because next time I'm gonna have a next project for that. And
Okay. So what I see is the next point that I want to understand uh, is uh, you are talking about outputs. You are talking about contrast to output versus outcome, right? Replace vanity metrics with cycle time, value realized, customer impact, and customer impact at quality levels. That's what I see. What you are saying. Okay. Now, how should leaders set a direction so that teams move faster without chaos?
this is very good questions. When we are leader more focused towards the business deliverables, so we must clear transparency with our team, and whatever the vision we are taking forward, we should not hide what is the backstories of the projects, or the program we are running, it should be very clearly mentioned to our project managers or the product owner. The communication should have a properly defined whatever exactly is needed. And moreover, we need to understand that we are having a proper accountability as well. Whatever we are assigned to the person, he or she must be accountable for whatever the task has been assigned. And moreover, speed of the delivery must be taken care, that just because of the speed of delivery, the person is not keeping us towards the next level of risk. He must be keep in mind also that delivery speed is matters, but risk is also there. So according to that, things needs to be done. And moreover, we should focus on security compliance. And moreover, uh, we have to understand that whatever the delivers we are giving, it is aligned with the business goal.
Okay, got it, Anurag. Now, what we are saying is we should look at having metrics that are traceable, trackable, and we get that not only outcomes, but we get them done in that sprint and move on as we speak, right? So that is where you see that we should go in that direction. How should leaders set direction so that teams move fast without chaos?
Team must be always have a proper relationship with a leader whomsoever is